On this side of the microphone, the clock's not on yet, right? Because this is going to take a little bit of a second here.
Okay. Oh.
It's been a while since I've done this, so it's...
Maybe you shouldn't.
Well, at first I thought I'd offer help. I rethought that. I am a pastor.
It's definitely you.
There are some things I shouldn't do.
Yeah.
I heard that, Becky. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Oh wait, why wasn't I filming?
We've got it. We've got it.
Oh good.
Iwit, Nabanin, Ami Mahim. Yefan Sony Ipingini Kemi Fenowin Hoke, Itan, The Pilgrim's Progress on Pulusuk Island. Good evening, everyone. This evening I'm going to tell you a story that's called The Pilgrim's Progress on Pulusuk Island. The reason I put this on is just to give you an idea of how different my life was in 1967 when I arrived on an island called Pulusuk in the middle of absolute nowhere in the Pacific Ocean. When I dressed for work, when I dressed for bed, when I dressed for play, this is what I wore. You'd call it a loincloth, they would call it a mangak. Now when a man wore a loincloth like this, that's the way it looked, what it was called. But women wore the same type cloth, shorter length, wrapped around, tucked in, period. So what I wore, you remove everything else. You leave this, and you also leave the tattoos I have that go from my hip to my knee that were done with bird's bones and bamboo using lampblack for the color. So I was in a place that was very, very different. I was a Peace Corps volunteer there for 2 years, the better part of 2 years. The island of Pulusuk was an island that you could walk around in a day. It had about 300 people on the island. And what it was well known for among people who have ever heard of Pulusuk in the first place is that it is one of 7 islands that are the last islands on the planet Earth where people can still build their own canoes through native methods using native materials, all except for the sail, which they do use canvas, and sail over open ocean using only natural navigation.
Wow.
Meaning the sun, the stars, wave patterns of waves, refraction from islands. They could tell, they could look in the water. You and I, we'd see 3 waves, they'd see 10 waves. They could make maps from those wave refractions that could help them place where they were as they made their voyages. Now, what I'm going to do tonight is tell you a story. The reason I kind of call it The Pilgrim's Progress is when I thought about telling this story, I realized that it's got elements that are kind of a basic Christian story. It's got elements of failure and confession, repentance, redemption, and maybe even a little slice of salvation. So to tell you about how that works, first I'm going to tell you about my job. I was sent there as an agriculture volunteer. Meaning that some person, some bureaucrat in Washington talked to some bureaucrat over some parts of the islands in Micronesia, and somebody said, you know what these people really need? They really need to have this good, like just a diet just like our pyramid, boy. They got to have so much of this and so much of that and so much of this, and they just don't have it. So we're going to send volunteers out there and help them get it. So they sent me to Pulusuk Island, and by the way, this is so isolated. A ship goes there once every 4 to 6 months. That's how often I got mail.
Yeah.
I went out on a Catholic mission boat. went to the island, was basically dumped off with 3 Rhode Island red chickens, 1 pig, and a bunch of seeds. Now I'm going to tell you about the first part of my Christian story, which is a story of failure. I was trained to make a model chicken house, a model pig pen, and a model garden. Well, to make a long story short, didn't work. My chickens, within the first month, I had this model chicken pen, right? And I make this thing, I had chicken wire. And I was, where are these people supposed to get chicken wire when they're going to be, I got chicken wire, right? I build this pen. I got people bringing me all kinds of food stuff. I've got a meat grinder. Where are they going to get a meat grinder? I'm making all this model chicken food, feeding it to my model chickens. Within 2 weeks, the first chicken's dead. I go out there, man, I got a dead chicken. So about 2 weeks later, I go out, and I'm making my model chicken. People are bringing me the food, you know. And don't forget the fish bones. We got to have calcium in there. So, next chicken's dead. I look at that last chicken and I said, man, I've been here for 6 weeks and I haven't eaten anything but fish. This chicken was one Sunday dinner, let me tell you. Alright, so my chicken project failed. Then I had my pig. I built a model pig pen. Put the pig in a model pig pen. And what the model pig was supposed to do, had 2 jobs. One was to poop, so that we'd throw stuff in there and we could use the poop mixed up with all this greenery, and it would be the fertilizer for my model garden.
Right.
The other job of this pig was to breed with all these scrawny little pigs they got running all over the island, because what they need is big, fat pigs. So, they told me how to build a pig pen. They showed me how to do all of that stuff. No one exactly told me about the love life of pigs. So how, I mean, you know, the mechanics, I got it, right? But exactly how do they decide, like, hey, big boy, you know, so what we did, and I couldn't let my pig loose, because if my pig's loose, my pig is gone. So I had to, what we would do, we would take female pigs and put them in a pen with them. And these little pigs, they took one look at this brute and, no, this is not going to work. Now, those logs were built so that he couldn't get out, but these scrawny little pigs, they found a way out. Believe me, boom, they're gone.